The air was filled with the scent of roses, but to me it smelled of iron shackles. The voice of the priest rang out in the opulent Malhotra mansion ballroom, where hundreds of onlookers witnessed my embarrassment in designer dresses and custom-tailored suits. Do you, Anaya Sharma, take Arjun Malhotra as your lawfully wedded husband? Arjun, my enemy, my nightmare, my high school bully. And now, the man slipping a diamond-encrusted shackle onto my finger. I longed to scream, to flee, to shred my father's contract into shreds. But his failing health and insolvent company clung to me like a noose. Arjun bent in, his storm-grey eyes flashing with sadistic glee. His whispers seared my skin. Say yes, Sharma, or I'll ruin everything you love. I spat out the word like venom. I do. The clapping was thunderous, but I was empty inside. The cameras were clicking as the devil kissed me, his lips a threat, not a vow, and thus, I was imprisoned. Arjun's mansion was vast, stunning, and chillier than any jail. Each wall had a portrait of his deceased parents, a reminder every day of the dynasty that he commanded. During dinner, there was silence that stretched like taut glass on the verge of breaking. You haven't changed, he said finally, stirring his wine. Still playing it tough when you're not. I clattered my fork onto the plate. And you haven't changed, either. Still clinging to arrogance because inside you're just. Be careful. His voice cut through mine. You're no longer in school. You're in my home, my domain, my rules. Hatred seethed, but beneath it was something uglier. Fear. Because I saw something in his eyes, not merely cruelty, but obsession. Days coalesced into nights, and our marriage turned into a battleground. We quarreled about everything, my autonomy, his dominance, our past spectre. But gradually, the fissures showed themselves. I had been wandering through the darkened corridors one evening when I heard the door to his study half open. Papers were strewn. Names, statements, photographs with red ink markings. Arjun stepped out of the shadows. Shirt sleeves rolled up, jaw clenched, eyes inscrutable. You shouldn't have come here, he growled. What are you hiding? He moved in close until the back of my head was against the wall. His hand rested on the wood near my head, imprisoning me. His voice lowered to a threatening whisper. Everything I do is to protect what's mine. The tone with which he uttered mine made my heart beat, out of fear, out of rage, at something I didn't dare call. It began in whispers in the corridors, interrupted phone calls when I walked into the room, double security overnight, and then the note that was pushed under my bedroom door. You don't know him like you think you do. Be careful, Anaya. I talked to Arjun. His smirk was erased, his face cold in anger. Who gave this to you? I don't know. But you're lying to me, Arjun. About everything. He clutched my wrist, holding me against him. His voice was rough. You think I like this? That I like confining you here like some captive? Then why marry me? I spat. His response was broken. Because keeping you near is the only way to keep you alive. The attacks started shortly thereafter. A car attempted to crash into me outside the benefit gala. Someone broke into my bedroom while I slept. Every time, Arjun showed up, watchful, angry, merciless. One evening after an ambush, he pulled me into the mansion, bleeding from his arm. I attempted to assist him, but he gripped my wrist again, fiery eyes. Why can't you just hear me, Sharma? His voice cracked. Think this is a joke? They want you killed. Tears were blurring my sight. Then tell me why. Why me? Why am I caught up in this war? His mouth came crashing down on mine before he could say anything. It wasn't tender. It was passion and flames, a kiss from desperation and denial. And for the very first time, I returned his kiss. The truth emerged like a dagger. The traitor was not in his group. It was not his board. It was my own blood. My cousin Ria, the girl who had grown up in my home, borrowed my outfits, shared my secrets, had been selling secrets to Arjun's enemies. When asked questions, her admission was poisonous. You always had everything, Anaya. The grades, the compliments, the affection. I was nothing. And now you marry him? The man she caught herself, but her eyes said the rest. Ria had loved Arjun once. And in her twisted jealousy, she wanted to see us destroyed. Her mother's betrayal crushed me. But Arjun's anger was volcanic. He almost smashed his desk apart when he discovered it. She'll pay, he snarled. No. My voice trembled but remained firm. She's my family. Leave her to the law. For the first time, I saw him falter. And perhaps, just perhaps, hear me. Ria's arrest did not end the storm. Her enemies she had fed were still pursuing us. One night, they attacked. The mansion went up in flames. Blasts shook the walls, bullets shattered the windows. Arjun dragged me through fire and smoke, covering me with his body. A bullet whizzed past his side. He didn't waver. Run, Sharma, he shouted. I won't leave you. We fought our way out of it together, hearts pounding, breaths gasping. When the police and security managed to subdue the attackers, Arjun fell in my arms, blood soaking his shirt. You can't die, I whispered, holding on. Not after everything. Not before. His hand rested on my cheek, weak but firm. Later, when I'm able to kiss you for it. He lived. And something between us shifted that night. We weren't enemies. We weren't pawns. We were fire that had been forged together, invincible. Months later, the war was done. The traitors revealed, the enemies vanquished. Our marriage was no longer a marriage of convenience. It was something wilder, more reckless, more lovely. One morning, I woke to see Arjun staring at me. His characteristic smirk melted into something genuine. You almost look peaceful when you sleep. Almost. I tossed a pillow at him. You resemble a stalker. He snatched the pillow and held me down on the bed, laughter and hunger entwining in his eyes. Stalker, husband, enemy, lover. I'll be whatever you desire. So long as I belong to you. And I trusted him for the very first time. We had been forged in anger, trapped in circumstance, wounded by betrayal. But out of that ugliness, we had constructed something that could never be broken. Not gentle, not perfect, but real. And as Arjun kissed me, sunlight streaming through the windows, I knew the truth. We were not tied by contracts, by enemies, or even by fire. We were tied by love. People still spoke about the way my marriage started. A contract, a scandal, a war. But when I saw Arjun years later, instructing our son to play chess the way he used to harass me in high school, I smiled. Because the boy who had opposed me became the man who was my home. And sometimes, the most perilous starts have the most lovely conclusions.